I just played a little Switch 2 game called Misc: A Tiny Tale. And yes, it's called Misc, not miscellaneous. I've done my research. Stop typing that comment. On the surface, this appears to be a spiritual successor to Chibi Robo, featuring a similar looking protagonist of equal size. Now, I haven't played Chibi Robo, but I could tell by comparing footage that Misc is quite different from it. Even the developers at Tinyware Games told me it's its own unique experience inspired by games like Chibi Robo and Pikmin, the latter of which I certainly got vibes from, with its larger-than-life levels set in otherwise small spaces, like a garden or a refrigerator. That's because the denizens of Misc: A Tiny Tale are miniature robots living in a world no longer inhabited by humans. Our protagonist Buddy and his friend Bag Boy leave their village to investigate the cause of a mysterious explosion that happened in the sky. It's a real hero's journey, not unlike Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and B-Movie.
You like jazz?
This adventure will take the dynamic duo to 9 different areas, where they'll meet a variety of robots and solve their problems out of the goodness of their mechanical hearts, and in exchange for golden cogs. Misc: A Tiny Tale is somewhat of a collectathon platformer, where you'll search and find these golden cogs that will open the gate to the next level. You'll need at least 8, but there are extras if you want to go for 100% completion, which I did, because I'm a true MLG. Most of these cogs aren't just lying around, as you'll get them by doing favors for NPCs, most of which are fetch quests. As someone who likes exploration in video games, I didn't mind this, as I was going to explore each level from head to toe anyway, sometimes finding a quest item before activating said quest. Call them happy accidents. Thanks to some good movement and camera controls, it felt great exploring these levels to find their secrets, jumping from platform to platform with ease. It helps that it runs at 60 FPS on Switch 2, even though it's technically a Switch 1 game. When played on Switch 2, it gives a much clearer 1080p picture when docked and a much higher 60 FPS instead of 30. I really felt like I was playing a game made for Switch 2, despite it not being displayed at 4K. So why did I make this video 4K? Because I can do what I want. Going back to the game itself, each level has specific conditions in order to complete them 100%. You have to find all the golden cogs, complete Gus the Raccoon Robot's challenge stages, and most importantly, clean up every spill and scrap of garbage in the area. You could say this game is a mix of Banjo-Kazooie and Power Wash Simulator. Wait, that's just Super Mario Sunshine. Misc encourages players to take care of the environment by cleaning up spills and picking up trash, which can be exchanged for currency to buy shop items needed to complete quests. Yeah, some of these quests can be finished by a simple visit to the shop, but these items cost a lot, so they still take effort to buy. For every mess you clean up and character you help, you'll get points added to your difference made stat, which unlocks letters written by robots you've inspired on your journey. And ultimately, this is what the game is all about. Helping others and embracing each other's differences. Admittedly, some of these themes were heavy-handed and maybe not fully explored, but I could tell it was sincere. There's so much heart put into this game about tiny robots that left a great impression on me, and I straight up cried. Maybe not like this, more like this, honestly. I'm not going to try recreating it, I haven't drinking water all week. The game itself is good, albeit fairly by the numbers. It doesn't do anything revolutionary in its respective genre, but it doesn't have to because it's fun and the way 3D platformers should be. However, the emotional heart of this game's story is what makes it special. From the very beginning, I was charmed by how wholesome it all was. It could just be that I'm a big softie and cry at just about everything that has to do with childlike wonder, but I was especially impacted by some major events that happened later in the game that I won't spoil here. Mainly because the kind folks at Tinyware Games will kill me if I break embargo. So, as a game, Misc: A Tiny Tale is a fun 3D platformer that doesn't break new ground mechanically, but perfectly understands what makes this genre enjoyable. And I had a fun time playing every level. However, the main reason to play this game is surprisingly its story. While it's nothing complex, it still packs an emotional punch by the end. And I was so happy to have experienced what I played. It's with great pleasure that I give Misc: A Tiny Tale a 9 out of 10. Look, I know Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out this week, but luckily Misc: A Tiny Tale comes out on July 22nd on Nintendo Switch, so you can beat Donkey Kong Bonanza and then engross yourself in this tiny fantastical world while supporting an indie developer. It also comes out on Steam on July 31st, so regardless of what platform you're going to play it on, I highly recommend buying Misc: A Tiny Tale. But before I go, I have to thank my beautiful Ferris wheel members for supporting me and my endeavors. If you want to become a member to watch some of my uploads early, then be sure to hit that join button down below. But until next time, bye!